The Best Christmas Ever, written by Andrea Frazer, narrated by Valentino. He'd been woken early that morning by the rowdy crowd that set up the market stalls. He hadn't thought it was market day, or he'd have woken earlier and cleared out. They were a rough, loud-mouthed lot who showed him no mercy when evicting him from whichever of the places round the market square that he'd decided would give him the best shelter for the night. He usually slept under the arches just down the road, but had fancied a change the night before. The unexpectedness of his rude wake-up call had left him in a dither, and he was unusually slow gathering his few belongings together and packing them in the ancient canvas rucksack in which he carried round his sum total of worldly goods. These few possessions might look like a small pile of rubbish to other people, but to him they were all he owned and all he needed to get by in his rather precarious existence. His hands cold and painful from sleeping out in the open, his sluggish fingers packed away and rearranged his stuff for the daytime. He had an enamel mug and plate, no idea when they had come into his possession or how, but they had served him well. He had also a knife, fork and spoon, again, all very old and unmatched, but they did the job they were made to do, and that was all that mattered to him. His scant collection of old clothes lived in there also, unwearable by normal standards and far from clean, but they provided extra layers in the winter when it got really cold and gave him more of a chance of not freezing to death. In here also went his worn blanket, not a necessity, as newspapers did just as good a job, but a small luxury he had rescued from a skip a couple of months ago, and which had served him well as far as comfort was concerned. In the bottom of the bag now rested an old and battered book which he had had since ceasing to be a child, and began to learn how to face the world as a man. It was a copy of Dickens' The Pickwick Papers, which after all these years he could almost recite now, but it was his prized possession, and had travelled more of the journey of his life with him than he cared to remember. To shouts of "Get out of here! Stinky old Taff! You got no home to go to, you filthy old git!" He began to make his way unsteadily to his feet, to escape the unwelcome taunts and jeers to which the market traders always subjected him if they found him on their patch on market day. But it wasn't market day, and he was sure of it. Why were they here? At last, the pain from his arthritis overcome, he stood as erect as he could, lifted his rucksack onto his shoulders and limped off as fast as he could from the hostility.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?